you are very prone to getting your expansion up without your opponent seeing it. That's very likely. And that's indeed what happened. He never really saw it coming. He eventually saw the Greater Healing Potion because I used it, and he maybe should have clued into that. But by the time we actually fought where he saw the Greater Healing Potion, at no time did he really have time to go look for it and or kill it. And one thing I did was I actually researched Nature's Blessing right after my expansion was done. I made the choice to research it at the expansion so that my main could tech. That was one small thing I did. And I made sure to repair it at one point with one of the wood peons. I sent it up to the tree just to make sure it was full health just in case. And just stuff like that I tried to keep my opponent not only unaware of my expansion, but also keep it from being easily killed. And that was a lot of why I played aggressively. Not only because I wanted to keep his heroes down, because I didn't want to have him find my expansion and gank it. Because if your opponent has like 5 raiders and some Spirit Link, let's say, and a Blade Master, you can't keep your you can't keep your expansion up very easily. 5 raiders do very good damage, and the Blade Master will chop down all your repairing wisps within like 2 seconds apiece. One hit and a crit will kill a wisp, period. Or just 3 regular attacks will kill a wisp. And in general, it means you're going to take like 12 attacks and the wisps are all going to be gone. And that doesn't take very long. The Blade Master attack speed is very high, especially considering his agility. So you're not prone to keeping your expansions alive when Orc know about them. Just by sort of pure fact, it's not going to happen easily. And so it's very much the job of Night Elf to either make the Orc pay for killing your Expo. If he does manage to Hall Smash it, if you can TP and kill, like, let's say 3 raiders, that's worthwhile. If you trade TPs but you lose an expansion, you're behind. If you only kill like 1 raider, you're behind. So things like that. And that's why I think people get things like the Keeper of the Grove sometimes, or a lot of Dryads, because you can dispel Spirit Link. Anyway, these weren't really the big parts of the strategy, though, so let me go back a little bit and explain better, because I feel like I am drifting off to random tangents that aren't important. So, the aggressive playstyle was to keep the opponent off the expansion, just point of fact. The economy that I keep meaning to talk about and never do. I had a lot of lumber wisps. There was the obvious 10 on wood from the beginning of the build order. That was just a very direct, anytime that you have an expansion plus Ancient of Lore sort of play style or strategy or whatever, the plan to expand plus make Dryads and stuff, that's usually a 10 wisp tech. That's if you look at Night Elf Mirror and you go Priestess of the Moon and like a couple Huntresses and you go expand and make like 3 Lore Dryads, that's a 10 wisp tech. That's 10 on wood, so 15 wisps total, fine, but I'm calling it a 10 wisp tech. I haven't heard it called that before, but it makes a freaking lot of sense. So 10 wisp tech. The next thing is, even during the game, especially because I lost 1 or 2, or I obviously lost 3 wisps as making lores. That's a given. And in general, one must replace those wisps. That's just sort of, you generally need to replace the wisps as Night Elf. Night Elf is actually very wood heavy, and the workers are less efficient than the other players or other races' workers at chopping lumber. I recently discovered that the actual income that the wisps give you is 40 per minute, which is in contrast to a worker will give you 2 gold per second, which is 120 gold per minute. So they mine at 1/3 the rate of a wisp on gold, which means if you extrapolate and say, okay, well, I have 5 on gold and I'm getting 10 gold per second, well, if I have 5 on lumber, I'm getting, 1/3? I'm getting 3 gold per second. And if you think about it, most players typically put on, maybe like 7 wisps? So you're getting, let's say 1.5 times that? So you're getting half. Yeah, so, sorry, I'm like mathing out loud, but more or less if you have like 7 to 8 on wood, you're getting half as much wood as you are gold. So if you think about lores cost the same gold and wood, and wins, and teching to tier 2 or 3 costs roughly 50% more gold than wood, which is on par with having 8 guys on lumber, or 7 to 8 on lumber. But Dryads are right about at 2 to 1, and Bears are more than 2 to 1. Upgrades are almost equal. I know the attack upgrade starts at 100 by 75, then it goes to 175 by 175, and then it actually becomes 250 by 275. Like the third attack upgrade actually costs more wood than gold, but at no point is it actually a very like good ratio. Like all the upgrades really cost a lot of lumber. They're very lumber heavy, and every upgrade you get, like Bear Adept Training 100 gold 50 wood, and then Master Training 100 gold 150 wood, Abolish Magic 50 by 50. I already talked about Dryades being roughly 2 times as much gold as they cost in wood. 8 wisps basically gives you half as much wood as you get gold. That's the math on it. And so when you have an expansion and you're getting, not counting upkeep, 20 gold per second, logically you then need 15 on wood. Now, of course, with upkeep, and I'm just doing Mathcraft out loud for you guys because this is what I do, if you're getting 14 gold per second as opposed to 20, getting 14 gold per second, do the math, you're taking 70%, so 70% of 15, 10 to 11 wisps on lumber, which I believe is pretty close to what I had. And you might even want more than that if you want to upgrade more or whatnot. If you don't make that many, you'll find yourself with a surplus of gold, which means you want to buy items. Orb of Venom, Scroll of Healing, Potion of Vulnerability. And that's a lot of what I did this game. If you sort of paid attention to the first attack where I was talking about, I have 50 food and whatnot, I got a Scroll of Healing in both my heroes, I got a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, I got the Scroll of Protection, and those weren't massive buffs, but it was gold that I got to spend because I basically had it spare. I didn't really want to keep making a freaking ton of wisps on lumber and have really no food for my army. So there's a bit of a balance there to reach, I suppose. But I think I ended up actually macroing quite well. For the most part, I didn't mass up too much gold that game. There were probably a couple points where I went up to 700 or so gold that were above like low upkeep. I think in general there's nothing wrong with stacking gold for a little while at 50 food or 48 or 49 food, whatever. But at around 50 or 60 or so, there's no excuse to really stacking gold. So you either go up to 80 or you should have bought your items at 50 food. That's really just sort of how it goes. That's how you have to play. That's what's required to play efficiently, I should say. Anyway. So, other important choices, nothing really. The Worker Harass was very good for me. Somehow he stole the lumber to reduce his buildings. I don't know how. His Blade Master Harass was very annoying and it hurt a bit, but whatever. I managed to have so much lumber that it didn't matter. And plus I had that gold mine expansion in the bottom left, which was cool. I tried to hide the Potion of Healing so that my opponent didn't know that I had expanded. Which is a bit of a higher level technique, I suppose, in sort of a, like my roommates would not, okay, he has a Potion of Greater Healing, so there's obviously different levels of skill, so that works on higher levels of skill. In general, though, anyone at a very high level, like, I kind of feel like if I was against myself right there, I'd have been like, you don't have enough units, you must have an expansion, and I would have probably tried to Raider bomb that or something. Anyway. Not much else to say in this game. I don't think I'm rambling too terribly badly. Hopefully this was educational and you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave comments and give me criticism, good or bad. Criticism generally means improvement, so, give me compliments or criticism. That's the one. If you think I'm a good teacher and you want to buy training from me, my email is Phreak, wr@gmail.com. You might not, but, there you go. Also account leveling and stuff. If you really feel like it, you can stats my accounts and be like, yeah, Phreak's still decent at this game. Whatever. But I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys all next time. Thanks for listening. You guys are awesome. I love you, WCR. No homo. I like chicks. Peace.